Hi guys, 18 Dapper here and welcome to the latest matchday preview for the channel. League 2 football this weekend. It's Doncaster Rovers versus Harrogate Town. Let's get the video started. So guys, welcome to the latest matchday preview on the channel, Doncaster Rovers versus Harrogate Town in League 2. If you're an existing subscriber, thank you so much for supporting the channel and continuing to do so. But as always, if you're new to the channel, please consider clicking subscribe if you enjoy this sort of content, and hopefully be able to produce more for you. But if you are new to the channel and this is the first video that's brought you here, this is the format that we go through match previews, look at previous meetings between the two clubs. Rovers fans look away at that point. Current form across all competition. Player profile, so I choose a Doncaster Rovers player to say a few words on the opponent's one to watch. So as I always say, you know your club much better than I do, so if you're a Harrogate fan watching this and you think somebody else should be mentioned at that point, get them in the comments down below. And then we finish the video off with three predictions: a predicted team lineup thanks to FanHub, the predictions league table that me and the family do, and then the all important score prediction at the very end. Got some slather once again for the prediction last time out, so hopefully this one's a little bit better. We will see. Previous meetings though, like I said, Doncaster fans look away now because Harrogate are a bit of a bogey team for us. 5 games faced competitively. We haven't won a single one yet. We've drawn 1 and we've lost 4. So yeah, as far as bogey teams go, Harrogate certainly are one of those. And we look at those 5 games. We go back to the 22-23 season where it was quite late on that we played each other. And yeah, we got beat 2-0 at home, managed a 2-2 draw at their place, and then the season after didn't get much better. In fact, it got worse. In the 23-24 season, a 1-0 defeat at home and a 3-1 defeat away. And then earlier this season, yeah, it didn't get any better. Once again, it was a 2-0 defeat away from home. So we're overdue a win in this one, but yeah, the Harrogate seem to manage to up their game massively when they play Donny for some reason. Bit of it, I suppose it is a Yorkshire derby, but yeah, hopefully we just can really be prepared for this game and get that first win competitively against Harrogate, which is a long time coming. On to current form, difficult one to judge really. We'll look at Donny, a draw, win, defeat and 2 wins on the bounce. Harrogate, a defeat, a win, a defeat, a win and a draw. So relatively inconsistent for both teams there. Donny just edge it in terms of form overall in those last 5 with the 3 wins, whereas Harrogate have only got 2. So yeah, difficult one to judge. Like I say, Harrogate seem to up their game massively when they play us. But Harrogate currently sit 9 points away from the drop zone in League 2 after a decent run of form. It sees them only lose once in their previous 5 league outings. So yeah, although it's a little inconsistent, I think it's 2 wins, 2 draws and a defeat in the last 5, and when you're down towards the bottom of the table, that's the sort of form you want, isn't it, to pull yourself away and give yourself some breathing space from the dreaded drop into the National League, and they're doing that, and they're trying to add to that through recruitment. They've done a bit of business in January already. They've signed Tom Curzons from Northern Premier League side Ilkeston. He's scored 25 goals in 30 games for them, so could make his debut tomorrow and could be certainly one to watch in the Harrogate squad. And another addition in the Harrogate squad that could be one to watch is Liverpool midfielder, academy graduate Tom Hill. By all accounts, he's an energetic midfielder, a bit of a box-to-box player, pretty comfortable across the midfield and playing off of the front 2 or front 1. So yeah, can play in numerous positions, bit of versatility in him. So another player that could make his debut tomorrow, and kind of unknowns how they're going to perform. But yeah, those two additions, it shows that Harrogate are wanting to progress and push on from where they're currently at, and both permanent additions as well. So credit to Harrogate there, because a lot of the time you don't see teams really spending. It's a lot of loans in January, and they've got 2 permanent players there. So we'll see how they perform tomorrow. For Donny though, hard fought win last time out against Gillingham, and sometimes you've got to win ugly to do well in a competition in a season. But it did keep us in the mix at the top end of the table. Obviously early kick-off, it's nice to get the points on the board. It put pressure on the other teams around us, but every single team in and around us kind of answered that pressure and those questions other than Salford. Salford were the only team who failed to win last weekend in the top 8, so very important 3 points to keep us in the mix. And it's great to see Molyneux back on form as well, 2 goals in 2 games, and I'm just hoping he can continue that form on tomorrow and get a goal or 2 against Harrogate and finally get us that elusive win. But we've had a full week's preparation for this game as well, so hopefully with Harrogate playing midweek, the 0-0 draw against Colchester, I'm hoping that can play a part in the outcome tomorrow, and a positive outcome for Donny. Our January editions should now also be integrated within the squad, so I'm looking forward to seeing what impact those 3 can have, and hopefully push us on to promotion. Fingers crossed. It's very tight up at the top. A dip in form is going to drop you out of it, but grabbing a bit of form and you're certainly well within the mix. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting end to the season. On to player profile. So for this one, I have gone with one of our new signings, Charlie Crew, defensive midfielder, 18 years old, and is very highly rated at Leeds. He's come to Donny to kind of continue his development, and for me, he looked fairly decent against Gillingham. Weren't afraid to get onto the ball. Looked for forward passes. Very positive in his play, and apparently he can be a threat from set pieces. Very tall. He's already made his international debut as well at 17, 18 years old. So certainly no mug to make his international debut at that age. And it was in the UEFA Nations League. It was on the bench against Turkey and Slovakia, and then came on. I think he's played about 25-30 minutes against Gibraltar in a 0-0 there. So obviously the Wales setup can see something in him. Leeds can see something in him. So fingers crossed we've got a bit of a gem there, and we can help him on his development, and he can help us on our progression up the table and hopefully into League One. On to the opponents one to watch. So I've already mentioned this individual is going to be kind of difficult to judge what he's going to give Harrogate, but I think one thing that we can assume is going to provide Harrogate is goals, and that is Tom Curzons. Obviously I've mentioned that they've just signed him, could make his debut tomorrow. Signed him from Northern Premier League side, so don't know too much about him, but 23 years old, centre forward. The stats that I could find on him: 31 appearances in his career so far, 39 goals, no assists, so certainly knows where the back of the net is. Will he be able to do it up against Football League defenders? Only time will tell. Hopefully if he does, and if he can do it against Football League defenders, that starts next week and not tomorrow. So for me, bit of an unknown entity, but the one to watch tomorrow, Tom Curzons. On to the predicted team lineup. So this is thanks to FanHub. If you've not downloaded the app yet, please go ahead and do so. Get your predictions for your team lineups and the FanHub 5s. Plenty of other stuff to do on the app. Highly recommend it. But for me, the predicted team lineup for tomorrow: Teddy Sharman-Lowe in goal, back four of Sterry, Olowu, McGrath and Maxwell, midfield 3 of Bailey, Crew and Sabara, Molyneux on the right, Street on the left and Sharp up front on his own. Hopefully that's the 11 that can get that elusive win against Harrogate. Onto the predictions league table now. So if you're new to this, me and the family predict the scoreline for every single league game. If you get the scoreline spot on, it's 3 points. Outcome of the game right, but not the score, it's 1 point. And completely wrong, it's no points. And myself and my dad weren't confident with the new manager bounce at Gillingham. We went for defeats. Chris and Max, always positive. They went with wins, but none of them got the score right. So 1 point added to Chris and Max, excuse me. So they're both on 18 points. I've dropped down to third on 17 points, and my dad's still in fourth on 14 points. Extremely tight. It'll change as the season goes on. And that takes me on to the all-important score prediction at the very end. And like I say, Harrogate, massive bogey team for us, but that's got to end at some point. And I'm hoping it's tomorrow. I'm hoping that the win against Hull, the win against Gillingham, has give us confidence. I'm hoping that our new signings, now that they're integrated into the squad, can really show what they can give us. And I think tomorrow is the day where we will finally get that first win over Harrogate, and I'm going for a good one. I'm going 3-1 to Donny. Hope I'm right, but like I say, Harrogate tend to really up their game against us. Massive bogey team for us, so I could be a mile off with that scoreline. But yeah, Rovers 3, Harrogate 1. And that's where I'm going to leave it. If you've enjoyed it, stick a big thumbs up on it for us, please. Comments in the section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.